gonna shit in my parfait.
Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play 35 plus years of Advanced Squad Leader. It's a Saturday, but welcome back, Rudin.
Somebody didn't read the rules because we're at night.
What about what rules did I not read? I
You
don't
should
think.
be concealed.
I mean, yeah, but I can. I didn't. I don't start with concealment. Pretty sure you don't start with concealment. But no.
For night, well, in night scenarios, I think you do.
But it's pseudo night, right? So,
Yeah, it's pseudo night.
which is which is a perfect on ramp to talk about this today's scenario. Uh, so for those who've been following along, we are in the Winter War with the Finnish versus the Russians, um, and we are playing ASL scenario 161. This is one from the Hakapale scenario pack by MMP. Arctic Crossroads is I'm gonna say convoluted scenario. I assume Putin's going to agree, and
You're too nice.
and so there's a lot of SSRs. I'm gonna try and get through them ASAP here. But just to kind of set the stage, so the Russians are attacking, as is pretty standard. They have an objective, which is also convoluted, where they win at game end by amassing 12 or more VP. Um, yeah, 12 or more VP. Russians earn VP calculated as exit VP for good order Russian units on boards 16 and 19, so the left boards, as long as they are on or south of hex row Y. Now, additionally to that, they also earn 3 VP for each Russian controlled location containing an artillery gun at game end. There's 3 of them. One is hidden somewhere, but can
No,
only.
it's ART specifically. AA doesn't count.
Oh, sure, but I'm just saying, like, there's another
Oh,
gun, but it's hidden.
gotcha.
So can't see that one where that is. Um, the Finns don't start with too great of a force, 7 squads versus 18, but they get a lot of reinforcements, and reinforcements come in on certain or within certain borders. Now, special rules to this scenario are annoying, as I've come to get to know or read as I was setting up. So, environmental conditions is wet, no wind at start, ground snow is in effect, which doesn't affect movement, but it is, does affect winter camouflage and all that sort of stuff. There's a bunch of overlays, specifically 4 of them placed throughout the map, as we can see, because they do not have winter variants apparently, which is annoying. All buildings are wooden, only have ground level. No walls or hedges exist. All woods are light woods, B35. Light woods essentially act as a hindrance, except normally they would be a hindrance plus 2 per hex that they go through. Instead, they've been ruled to only provide 1 hindrance DRM. You cannot kindle, which don't know why the hell that's a thing, but alright. To represent the gloom of the Arctic polar night, night rules, E1 are in effect. Exception, the only night rules that apply are E1.1, 1.101, 1.3, 1.32 to 1.33, 1.8 to 1.82, 1.89, and 1.94 to 1.942. Do you know all those rules? No? Well, get to check in the rule book, my friend. Base NVR is 4. Next up, we have due to obsolete ammunition, any IFT effect dice rolls made by a 1887 K95 artillery gun has no effect if the original Kylo die roll is a 6. Artillery guns may set up in place, but may not start the scenario hidden or concealed. If an artillery gun becomes disabled, mark it gun disable counter instead of removing it from play. Artillery guns may never occupy the same location, may not be pushed off board, and may not be destroyed. Which I guess is funny because like you can still push them, they just can't be pushed off board. And lastly, all finished units have winter camouflage. So all that to say, I don't think I'm gonna care for the artillery guns. Maybe I'll make a move for them, but I don't know. I think the idea of going for them is silly because I always feel like I get annihilated by artillery pieces when I run towards them. So maybe that's just me. How are you doing, Ruben?
I took a gambit and it didn't pay it off. He did exactly what I was like, oh, he probably wouldn't do that.
Honestly, we'll see. We'll see if it actually pays off because Finns are kind of superhuman, at least to some degree. I think all your reinforcements are. You don't have any elite squads, so I guess there's that. But I still have to worry about Finnish squads being able to self rally and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So, anyways, it's a 9-turn scenario, so we'll try to get through as much of it as possible.
Do we even need 9 turns? I don't think we will.
Honestly, if losses are pretty equal on both sides, then yes. But otherwise, yeah. If it's pretty one sided, like the biggest issue is that if the Russians get to move and control the area in the top left, if they're not going to be dislodged, then yeah, you kind of it's like an auto win basically. But yeah, I do want to go across some of the knight rules here, just because I'm still talking about rules, and it's better to just get them out of the way now, before it becomes too annoying. So knight rules, the biggest thing to keep in mind here is that you won't be able to see units until they are within night vision range, which means that stuff like the artillery pieces are functionally useless outside of gun flashes. But with all the woods surrounding them anyways, it doesn't really matter. I don't know how important they will eventually be, but I'm guessing low. So E1.1 is the night vision range. E1.01 talks about beyond night vision range. So again, like you can't see stuff unless it's a gun flash, all that sort of jazz. It also means that you have to ignore a lot of rules, which is again an issue. So there's literally a night rule about snow, but you have to ignore that because it's dumb. So 1.3 I think is the next one that existed. Yeah, 1.3, which is concealment, and then it talks about concealment loss and gain. So I'm sure we'll mess that up. 1.8 to 1.82 talks about gun flashes, so just that it happens regularly and occurs in CC. We don't have Molotovs, we don't have DCs, we don't have anything else like that to really worry about. 1.89 is DM, radio, and spotting, which, whatever. Do you even start with anything DM?
No.
Yes. No, so I think like maybe. Oh no, you do with your HMG on the reinforcements. So maybe it's for that. I don't know. I don't see why that's mentioned, to be honest. Seems like such an edge case, but whatever. And then 1.94, which is just fires, which again I don't think is really going to happen, especially since kindling is not allowed. You're not allowed to have fun. So yeah, it's just a lot of things for you to look at and then go, I don't know if I want to actually play with these, and then forget about them. So there's no jitter fire, there's no string, there's no like any of the consequential stuff in night rules, which yeah. Anyways, I think that's enough jibber jabber about rules. So let's go with weather, and yeah, no change, which is pretty typical.
What's the win-loss ratio?
When I was looking at it, it was fairly even, which I was surprised by. So it seems to be combined even 19-19. If you take roar only, the Russians have an advantage by 2 games, and if you take the archive only results, the Finns have an advantage of 2 games. So it's 19 all. It's honestly, I'm shocked that it hasn't been played more, but I think it's because of the night rules. I think it's because it takes 4 boards, and 9 turns is a little daunting no matter how you want to spin it. So Do I have anything in rally phase? I don't. You got your sniper on, good. I'm pretty sure I put the sniper number in, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, also your sand number is 5, and I hate that. It's so stupid. I feel like it's too strong. Like, maybe a 4 would make more sense, but...
Welcome to the nightlife. Here, you have a 5 sniper number.
That's right. That's right. So, and I had like completely forgotten about the night rules. So, I'm gonna do opportunity fire on my guy with the mortar. I'm gonna do opportunity fire with my guys over here. I just realized I put 2 leaders where I didn't need to put 2 leaders, but whatever. And is there anything else I can do in opportunity fire? Sure. I don't actually remember if you have to, if you drop concealment. I'm pretty sure you do in opportunity fire, but so I'm gonna mark 3 guys as opportunity fires, and then I will go to movement. In the movement phase, we are going to do some very silly things, such as declare CX with a squad. I guess technically you can't see them. You know what? I'm gonna put the where is that button? I'm gonna put the night vision on there. Okay, so you do see that. Now, CX won't cause them to drop concealment, but yeah. So I'm gonna declare CX with a squad, or with a unit. Sorry, I don't want to reveal all that important information here. And then they will go to E9 for 1.
Okay. Do I see it now because your 4 hexes away?
I believe so. I mean, they're all 447, so I don't really... It's really just going to matter when you take shots at them, so...
Okay.
No shot?
No shot.
Okay. Go to D9 for 2.
Okay.
C9 3.
Yeah. This guy will shoot at him.
Sure. Now, I don't think there's any hindrance. I don't think that there's any effects outside... Oh, no, wait. That's right. So I was about to confuse with the fact that night normally gives you +1 hindrance, but I'm pretty sure that is not in effect, so... Probably just a 5 down 2.
5 down 2?
I would assume so, yeah.
Okay.
5 on 5 is probably like a 1 check. 5 on 5 is a 1 check, so he's good, but sniper.
Okay.
So I was there for 3, so he goes to B9 for 4.
He'll go ahead and subsequent.
Sure.
So 2.5 down 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, you cower. No, wait, you don't cower. That's right.
I don't cower. I'm finished.
All right. Well, it's a KIA, so it's who needs squads anyways. Sniper doesn't activate. All right. Next up, another squad is gonna declare CX.
Is it that it's elite and first line that don't cower, correct? No, or is it all Finns don't cower?
I'm of the mind that it's all Finns don't cower because it's really silly. I'll go check. I'll go check.
I'm pretty sure because I think it's like British elite and first line don't cower.
Yeah. What do we got? Italians, Eritreans, Finnish. Finnish personnel, exception conscripts, may attempt self-rally during any rally phase, are immune to cowering results, and are stealthy if elite first line.
Cool.
So yeah, basically only the crap units don't suffer problems.
No, not even. Yeah, like the actual crap units. Not even greens. Greens are still busted.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, CX goes there to E1 for 1.
Okay.
D7 for 2.
Okay.
C8 for 3.
I'll see him.
Sorry, I didn't realize he was concealed.
Okay.
B8 for 4.
Alright. I will open on him with this guy for 2 down 1. Or 2 down 2. My
Yep.
bad. 5 on 2.
Normal. He's fine. Okay. Today I'm doing well on brush and morale checks. That's good. A9 for 5.
Okay.
F8 for 6.
Alright. I will final protective fire.
Okay.
And so that is 5 down 2. Or.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, fuck. 9 on a 5.
Nothing.
And that is not good.
Okay. There's hole 1 in the armor there. I can send. Oh, yeah, I can send that guy around. All right, cool. I'm just gonna do there. So G9 squad declares CX goes to F8. Sorry, F9 for 1, then E9 for 2. 3 into D8. 4 into C8. 5, 6 to B7.
Alright. I will subsequent.
Sounds good.
2 down 1. Or.
Yep, 2 down.
2 down. 5 on the 2.
Normal. Sniper.
No.
Okay. All right, let's go crazy mode here. So guy in F8 declares CX will go to E8 for 1. D7 for 2. C7 for 3.
Okay.
B6 for 4.
Okay, I will final fire.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
It's still down 2, but yeah, it's off by 1. It goes to A6 for 5, and then FF6 for 6.
Yeah, nah, this is already really stupid.
Yeah, I mean yeah. I think I'll save it for later, but I basically just have like one real observation for this. Nobody else can see those guys, but I guess it doesn't matter. Well, okay, so I'm gonna declare CX with a guy in F10. He'll go to E10 for 1. D9 for 2.
We'll fire on him here for 6 down 2.
Okay. 5 on 6. 1 morale check. He is ELR'd and broken. Loses his CX. Okay, so now you can only shoot 3 hexes away at most. I really wish I didn't mess up my leader position at the... Alright, well, I'll do the easier one here. G8, they're going to declare CX as a group. Presumably they're not going to get blasted by something, so we'll do this hopeful movement. F7 for 1, E7 for 2, D6 for 3, C6 for 4, B5 for 5, A6 for 6, and then FF5 for 7, and then EE5 for 8.
Okay.
I probably should have spread them, but whatever. Down in the bottom, I'm just going to split the stacks, essentially. So they're going to... One guy's going to assault move from FF2 to E3. And then the same thing from F3 to E4. And then who else do I have to move here? Where the heck's my... Oh, that's right. It's that guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, you know what? I don't need to go any further with those risks. Stacking F10 is going to declare CX. They will go to E10 for 1, E9 for 2, D8 for 3, D7 for 4, C7 for 5, and then C6 for 6. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And then this guy in F1 is going to declare CX. It's a leader. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that will be my movements. Pretty sure, yeah. These guys should not be concealed anymore. Sorry, these guys were concealed still. But yeah, should be it for movement. Defensive fire.
I don't have any other defensive fire I can do.
Really. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. All right, so advanced fire phase. Does the defensive fire go away already? Or does that stay for the gun flash?
I know they're removed out of defensive fire phase, but let me...
I always forget what happens to gun flashes. Gun flash. Just because it'd be weird if you could opportunity fire, but then not get any benefit from... Yeah, during night scenarios, first and final fire counters are left in location where they were originally placed until the end of the advanced fire phase. That's what I figured. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to use the advanced fire phase stuff. Yeah, so basically it just matters for the DM guy and the guy with the LMG. Speaking of, I will shoot at the guy with the LMG with my MMG and the squad that's with him. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is winter camouflage above 6 or at 6?
I think at least 6. I'm not 100% sure. Let me go and duplicate and look.
Yeah, check that, and I'm just gonna see if Lightwoods don't just get hindrance, right? They don't get any TM.
I thought they would get at least 1.
Well, because they're treated as a hindrance, so I don't think they get any TM for being in them.
Things can be hindrances and still have TM.
But it doesn't say, like, the... Yeah. Is it on the terrain chart? Please tell me it's on the terrain chart. No.
No, any type of snow, and any type of snow, any unit / vehicle specified 7 winter camouflage sees a +1 when fired upon beyond 8 hexes if infantry or 16 hexes otherwise.
Oh, it is that. Okay.
Unless it already qualifies for passing other than smoke.
So there's no hindrance. TEM. Okay, so it does say you get woods light is +1. It's just that it's got hindrance as well for looking through it. Okay, so so it's a 6-up-1 essentially against them. 5 on 6 is 1 check. Okay, well, I don't have rates, which is fine. Guys with the LMGs are gonna shoot as well. Might as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 8 firepower up 1. Jesus. Okay, well, this is how you win this scenario. What is it? It's a 2 morale check, yeah. And then I guess, like... I'll just shoot the mortar at him as well. I wasn't really planning on doing that, and I didn't break the mortar, so that's good. Cool, that's my advanced fire phase, I think, because anything else, I don't know, I don't really... I'm starting to feel bad. Take off that, we'll take off this. Routes, me first. Hey, don't... take your guy back. You palooka. So this Hey, stop deleting him. He exists. You dork. I have to take a prisoner.
Stupid prisoners.
It's how I'm like. I'm not saying I want to have prisoners, but unless I declare no quarter, and I have to start evaluating that. Is that a woods? Yes. Okay. So this broken guy has to go to D or F8 because that's closest woods. Now, is no quarter in effect automatically for Finns and Russians? No, eh? Or is it only later in the Winter War?
One of those later in the war, I think, type things.
Index.
I hate how this thing is always like takes forever to fucking load. Okay.
Did it say 820 point whatever? No quarter. I'm glad it doesn't give you the rules for when it applies, so it's probably in the nationality rules.
It would be definitely.
Finns, stealthy, ski capable leaders, battle hardening, sissies, Panzerfaust, Panzerschreck, OBA ordnance. It doesn't say anything about no quarter. Check the Soviets real quick here.
Early war doctrine. I guess now. I guess you can't. I swear there was something somewhere that said that there was no quarter, but I guess no.
Yeah, I would have believed you for it, to be honest, because it feels right, you know, for the time. But maybe they just like it feels like it's it feels like the Finns shouldn't do no quarter, like should have no quarter, because you know they wanted to inflict as many casualties as possible. But I don't know if that. I don't think the same is true for the Russians. But either way, yeah. So do I want to? What's the rule on massacred? It brings your ELR up by 1, right?
Something like that.
Do I have to declare massacre at a specific time, and am I allowed to do it whenever I want? Massacre. Only SS, Japanese, partisans, Russians, berserk infantry may eliminate an unarmed unit in their location, not in the act of escape. Fire phase automatically eliminates them. Should a massacre occur, ELR of all enemy units in that scenario increased by 1 to a maximum of 6. In addition to the application of all the penalties of 20.3. Right, no quarter becomes... Okay, yeah, so I will take a prisoner with this guy in B7. So I'm gonna... It's a half squad.
Yep.
Link them. Especially because of exit VP. So I would get double for prisoners, I believe. Which is great. And then that's the only thing I can do for captures right now. Because this guy, I don't surround him. So I can't do anything for him, and obviously FF1.
So I guess it's to here. 2. Well, I guess he has to stay there then. Otherwise, it gets interdicted.
1, 2. Yeah. Like, I don't know how else you would... Because, you know, if your nearest target is these, right? You can't go that way because you get closer to these guys at least. So then your target's Z9. But yeah, I don't see how you could get there safely. Like, I think you could go to CC7, 3, 4, 5. You could probably get to Z8. The only thing is BB7. I don't know if I would interdict from these guys. So yeah, it's probably you could just low crawl to DD7 at worst.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Because this guy can ignore that woods if you want to go further. That's fine.
Then 2, 4, 6.
Okay. All right. So advances. I'm gonna split this group up. Yeah, you know what? This. You can go there. You can jump on. These guys can just go as a group. Guy with the prisoners goes to AA7. You can advance. Guys with the LMGs are going to go to E9. All these concealed guys are just going to go up by 1. Guys with the MMG will go to E1, I guess. And I think that's all my advance. Well, you know what? I don't need the mortar to stay where he is. That's just dumb. So yeah, he'll go to E8. That's it. Go to CC. There's none. Turn 1 for the Finns.
Okay. Weather. Cool. Nothing. Alright. Rally. We'll try the guy, the 5 for 8 first. He doesn't get it. Guy in the woods. Doesn't get it.
I got nothing I can rally. So this guy will lose DM.
So we'll go ahead and go to movement, I guess, because there's something I can really do.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to do this. That guy prevents. So this guy prevents concealment gain from all the guys around him, but like the mortar guy and everything, that's just automatic. So I gotta give them their concealment here, and that's it. Because the broken guy doesn't get it.
Anyways, going to movement.
Yep.
This guy's gonna CX, and he's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy's gonna CX. He's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy will CX. He'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay.
This guy will bypass for 1.
Sure.
2, 3, 4.
Okay. Now, does he lose concealment to this guy for being 4? In case you want to go to like DD2 instead.
I was from the DD2 then.
Sure.
This guy is gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Okay. Your defensive fire.
I will do an 8 up 1. Nope. And then these guys will all fire group, I guess, against the broken guy. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. And I don't got any other shots, so advanced fire phase.
Alright. No advance fire. Go to route.
So now that guy in DD7, I think, has to become a prisoner. Because he can't go to CC7 or CC8 without interdiction. And I will take the prisoner.
Well, can't I just go and risk the hindrance? Or risk the...
Not if it's the only options. If the only thing you can do is go through interdiction, you can't, yeah, you can't opt out. It's like, it's so, yeah, if I'd known that a lot longer ago, it would have changed a lot of scenarios, I find. But yeah.
Alright. Cool. They'll go there. They'll go there. They'll go... Oh, he's going there. You go there. You go there. You go there. Julio, that's my turn.
Sounds good. Turn 2. Weather, no change. Do I have anything? Self-rally? That's ridiculous. I hate it. That's my rallies.
Yeah. I'll try to rally him.
Go.
Do Finn's battle hardened?
Yep.
Cool.
They just have a weird structure because they have like 2 battle hardened structures.
So 6 goes to 7 because he was broken.
Down 1 for being finished.
Finish. Okay, so 6. Hero creation and battle hardening.
God damn it. Ooh. Alright. Well, less than ideal, but whatever. That's it for rallies. I don't have any prep fire to do. So we'll go to movements. In the movement phase. Yeah, I'll try to make...
I guess it can't be.
Yeah, he wouldn't be concealed, but you'll gain it at the end of the... Well, yeah, at the end of your turn, but whatever. Yeah, movement. I'll try to do this fast here. So, unit in DD4 goes to CC4 for 1. BB4 for 2. AA4 for 3. And then Z3 for 4. Then the stack in DD5 splits 1, 2, 3, 4 to Z4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, AA5, and then Z5 for 4.
Yep.
The guy with the leader will lose their CX 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to Z4. And then 6 to Y5.
Cool.
Okay, my assumption that there's a gun in there is... I'm deeply worried. Guy with the prisoners in EE8 will go to 4, because he can't be spotted when he does that. The other guy with prisoners will go basically around. Actually, hold on. I'm going to do that after, because I need to move this stack. I guess technically the guys with concealment will retain their concealment. CX comes off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to BB3.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'm sweating bullets here because I don't know if... Just like, where's the AA gun? EE8, or sorry, E8 on the right board. 1, 2, 3. Can't go any further. Conscripts will declare... Wait, no, they have to have a leader to declare CX shit. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Stack in E9, declare CX. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to A5. Guy with the prisoners will lose CX. He'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 to DD4. Stack and E1 will do 1, 2, 3 to D8. What movement do I have? Six, yeah, okay, so 3, 4, 5 to C7. And then over in the woods, we'll do assault move, assault move. One unit is going to declare CX. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, to C9. And then guy in E3 goes 2, 4. And he should be out of the line of sight from everybody. And that's it for movement. Defense fire.
Camp.
Sounds good. Advance, none. Routes, none. Advances. Everybody moves 1 into the objective line here. This is going to split into 2. You can go high, you can go low.
I'm curious what the playtesting was for this, when they thought that giving the Russians 3 times the amount that the Finns have, plus you can't see past 4 hexes, how that was supposed to be balanced.
Honestly, it just makes me think that they fucked around with the special scenario rules too much, because they're like, if you have night rules, there is something to take into account playing in snow. So it's like, okay, well, you could have, I'm sure you could do something where, like, I don't see why, like, snow drifts don't exist in this, because you could have, like, an interesting, like, you can see 9 hexes even though it's night rules, but line of sight would be so wonky with snowdrift. But they didn't do that, and they specifically don't talk about ground snow in the night rules. So yeah, like, I think this is kind of the whole idea of, like, people don't play this one kind of reflects, like, I don't, yeah, I have no confidence in this scenario. When I saw that it was night rules, I had no confidence in it. Sorry.
Well, I guess the big question right now is, are you able to exit the board, and if so, do you still get the VP for exiting off the south edge?
No, I believe the rule is that you have to be in the area. By amassing 12, earn calculated for on board. Yeah, you have to still stay on the board just south of the Y hex row. So you technically can't leave the board. But the issue is that if the Russians get to set up a defensive position, then you have the daunting task of having to run into that defensive position, you know what I mean? And, like, if it's all open ground, how do you prevent losing so many units, right?
I have to assault move in advance only, because I don't lose concealment because I have winter camouflage if I do that in open ground.
Sure. And, like, I guess in terms of, like, thinking of it as having so many squads that would be 4 firepower, like, you don't have that much protection from the woods because they're light woods. Well, actually, no, you still get the +1. So yeah, like, you can assault move and all that, but it is trudging along. Like, at the end of the day, it is slow. So I don't know. I'm not a. I would say I'm not a fan of this scenario. Is how I put it.
It just seems kind of, how do I say? They want you to play it a certain way, because it's like, how. I guess you're expected to get your 12 points over there, and the Finns have to come attack you, because how else am I supposed to split 6 squads evenly across 2 boards, enough to stop 18 squads at any time?
Yeah, like, there's definitely. The way I kind of look at it is that you have to make a clump of units and just, like, fortress like this woods or whatever, but it's not a particularly fun way to play.
It
And
it's really not. The other thing that's kind of pissed me off was that it's like, or I just think it's stupid, is that I could only place my guns within like 3 hex rows,
mm-hmm.
and then I could only place my infantry within like 5 hex rows, really up close to the enemy, and I can't put them near my guns whatsoever. And now I have to just sit here up in the front while you just rush past me because I don't have enough guys to defend the whole line. Can't even deploy because I can only deploy 10%.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like, what is the purpose of this defense? So I guess we're doing exactly what they want us to do. It's just not a fun thing to do, though.
Yeah, like the only way I can really look at it is the whole oh man, why am I forgetting the name of it? They had the tactic where that you let the Russians go by and then you close the door on them and you murder them. There's like that's kind of at play here, but yeah, like
But the problem is that you can see where the fins are, regardless if they're concealed or not. That
yeah,
doesn't work. You have to be. If they really wanted to do that, be like, hey, some of you guys can set up hip, which I know, like, not inherently, like, have it as a special rule, probably, but, like, for this, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, just set your units anywhere and have the Russians just plow you, and you just kind of have to sit there because you don't get your reinforcements until turn 4. So
if I'm being honest, I find that it's very strange that this scenario, in applying night rules, did not give Finn's cloaking. Because you don't have to give him hip. You could give him cloaking. It just like give him an extra like
yeah,
even if it's just enough cloaking counters per squads, right? You can get away with having one or two, maybe three, like if you can, if you split them up or stack in certain ways, cloaking counters that would be fake, right? Like they wouldn't have any units. And at that point, you can still fake out a little bit your defense where it's going to be, and it doesn't sort of it doesn't reveal the it doesn't give up the ghost, as they say, for spooky month, um as to
yeah,
like where the Finns are going to defend or whatever. um as for
but
like not having units near artillery pieces, like that's fine, just because like it's not like the Russians are going to be there ASAP. um but the way that the map is set up, like you have to walk towards the guns if you want to have them, be a part of the scenario. Otherwise, who gives a shit?
yeah, and I don't know. I feel like, and with the way that people want to play ASL now, where it's like, oh, I like games that are like 5 turns, 6 turns, like 7 turns is like the max that you can have.
Hmm.
And in this one, it's literally like, no, the scenario really just doesn't start until like turn 4 or 5.
Yeah, this. I think we talked about this in Armored Car Savikuriki, where
Yeah.
where the scenario has that old mindset to it, where they
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to have long scenarios so that whichever side could have like a full turn or two of just shooting and not even consider moving. And that, like, on a base level is fine, because like it kind of like Warhammer, where it's like you just want to roll dice. Like sometimes you just want to roll dice and have fun. And I think that works well for a campaign game like Stalingrad, right? Because you
Yeah.
have tons of units, so you just want to start blasting and getting critical hits and whatever. In a scenario like this, like you could chop it by 2 turns, cut off this like half of these boards because you don't need them. Um, Obviously, they're designed for physical, so the reason why they stop at P is because you could fold them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but like you could cut that entire part out and then just have the reinforcements come in a little bit closer, right?
Well, I could make them come. Well, like they do come like from here onwards. Well,
Sure,
I
but
guess.
like the only edge, right, is between 44A1 and P1, which I don't even know
Yeah,
why they say north and west, because it's just
which again is also stupid because it's like,
oh,
okay, now
because
you have, because now you got your reinforcements halfway through the game. Now you have to spend a further turn or two
oh yeah, three
to actually
turns.
get them, yeah, get them in position. So by the time they get in position, it's turn 7, and then it's like, oh, congratulations! Now you have 2 turns to wipe out like at least 12, like around some whatever teen squads of
Mm-hmm.
Russians, because there is no, like, unless like your dice rolls are absolute shit, there's no way you should like lose more than like maybe 2 or 3 squads against the Finns, or like with the how many Finns that we have. I have, because if you just funnel all 18 through one area, I can't stop 18 squads with this
Yeah,
kind of force stretched across this much area.
yeah. Like if I have enough defenders, yeah. It again, it's kind of why, like, the not criticizing, but like talking about the assault move and all that. Like, yeah, you can eventually make it to these woods to take advantage of like assault fire or double firepower and all that, but that's still 2 to 3 turns of open ground movement, right? And if I don't lose anybody, which you never know, but if I don't lose anybody and your losses start mounting, there's no recovery from that, really, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I think it, like I said, I think it comes down to like the Finns need to just sit up in one spot, just stack like crazy. The
But then it
Russians,
doesn't matter. That doesn't matter then, because then the Russians just go the opposite way and you're forced to move.
yeah, but that's kind of like the I guess the gist I'm getting to is that you have to sacrifice the movement gain and let the Russians get their victory condition immediately and then fight back for it, which is completely silly because why are the Finns defending then? If they're supposed, if you're meant to just attack back, like I wholeheartedly agree that the it is a silly scenario. It is a very silly scenario.
I don't know about you, but I feel like how many scenarios deep are we into the like Witcher War now? Like 3, 4?
That's a good question. Probably about 3 at most. This might be the third one. I'll check. As soon as you started mentioning stuff, I was like, should I offer a draw? But I don't want to. I feel bad because it's a 1 hour stream. But I guess like I don't know if
We've
people
got
really
shorter.
sure, and I don't think people really give a shit about it. At worst, like it is an indictment of the scenario where you get 3 turns in and you're like, I don't really give a shit about the scenario anymore. Like it's not exciting, it's not interesting. You know. This
Can't
is
do anything because I can't see past 4 hexes, and it's not like because I set up wrong, because I could only set up in the areas I'm told to set up in. And even then, it's not going to matter because the artillery can't even fire like half the time. Because if I roll a 6 whatsoever, or colored 6 whatsoever, it's like, oh, sorry, dude, you can't fire, or the IFT doesn't count. I don't know what the. I honestly don't know what the like statistics are on that, but
yeah, like I guess going back to talking about the setups, like I I don't understand the point of going to the bottom left outside of like the only thing I can think about this scenario is it's just mind games, and the mind games kind of determine how the scenario plays and whether you have fun with it. Because, for example, you like defense up top, cool. I'm gonna bust through there because it makes the most sense, right?
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
if but if you give up the if you don't have any defenders in the south, like sure, I'll go there, and the guns might be important, and then like I'll get the 6 points for them, but what?
But like it's I feel like it's like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't,
100%.
because if it's like I could have been like, oh, let me go up north, that way my reinforcements are closer, but if that's the case, you just punch south, and now it takes even longer for my reinforcements to get down there,
Hmm.
and now, like, again, turn 4, like, let me see. If there were no, like, say if all the Russian units are over here, but, like, by the time the
Yep.
Finns get on, and I come on, like, right here, which is, like, I think is the closest. I'll be like, one, and I'm assuming, like, without leaders, because I only have two, and I'm not gonna clump them in death stacks. Unless, well, I might. We'll just for leaders, I guess. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. That's and then advance probably here.
Sure.
That's one turn. One, two, three, four, five, six. Advance here. Okay, 2 turns. Great. And then two, four,
And then
then
that's
five.
just movement, because you might not
Yeah.
want to immediately go into, like, you might prefer to stay in the light woods that turn. So that's 3 turns to get to the line of fire, and then work on an assault. So it still
Well,
gets you to
yeah.
turn 7, right? Where you're, now you got 3 turns to do stuff. But
No, I can't because I have to wait another because I have to be here. And then turn like the next turn I can do stuff because I can't see that until I'm like right here. And then
sure, yeah,
even then that's when you start firing on me and then it's like everything's down 2 or down 1 or what have you.
yeah,
And it's kind of like, well, what the fuck do I do?
yeah. Like there's no ideal answer. It's really just a matter of, like,
And yeah,
yeah, try to take the brunt force of the Russians ASAP, and then whatever. But yeah, I agree that, like, it's not necessarily fun.
make the Finns come on turn like either make them come on sooner or make them come on, like where all the other Finns are, not just randomly where the Russians are coming from.
Well, I think it kind of goes back to the fact that they have maps as half boards, and they didn't, like,
Yeah.
because you can technically crop it more. They just chose to keep it as a half board to look better, or because it's
Hmm.
less work for the player on physical boards. But, like, you could just have a dice or a piece of string that delineates, F, right? And then you could just have everybody enter on F or G or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if everybody comes on there, then it's, you can knock 3 turns off, make the finish setup a little bit less restrictive, give them cloaking, and yeah, like, you probably have a more interesting game right away. But
I already forgot whose turn it is.
it's
Is it
your
my turn?
turn. Turn 2 rally phase.
Turn two
With
rally phase.
didn't roll weather. Like
Uh,
like when I was looking at some of the stuff on the archive, I think the two damning ones here are that, like, says Russians achieved 12 VP by turn 4 when the Finns conceded. The Russians had captured one gun, all of the starting Finnish MGs. Half the starting Finns were dead. The setup was poor and never seemed a threat, despite Russians rolling 3 casualty reductions on rally attempts. And then the other that I also find important is weird scenario. Most of the night rules are negated by SSR2, which allows sweeping troop movements completely unobserved beyond night vision range by the opposing units. Also, the Russians can take control of a large portion of the Finn reinforcements entry area, causing the Finn reinforcements to take a long route into battle. Um,
that
yeah,
too.
like, SSR3 allows Russians to see the two old Finnish art pieces despite darkness. Weird. Russians were able to swarm a lone Finn squad on the eastern flank. Blah blah blah. Like, I agree that it's not even, yeah, like, technically I could just throw all my guys up here, and then, like, even if you advance, you still have to advance adjacent. And then what do you do? Like, because you either delay your reinforcements, and then I just have my guys start shuffling west anyways. Like, I don't know. It's just weird scenario. I'm not a.
For, I mean, I know they playtest them. I know because I've done some, and I'm just wondering, like, how has this never been a thing that has been addressed?
I mean, maybe it was, and they just decided to go with it anyways. It like
Uh,
it's hard to say with full confidence, you know.
I don't know. What are like? I'm gonna ask you because it's ultimate because you're the other player in this.
Hmm.
What are you thinking right now? Do you want to keep playing it or?
Honestly, my only feeling towards this right now is whether or not you want to play. Because I'm fine with continuing, but it is with the mindset that I have. I already have 9 VP uh, on the objective. I'm getting everybody else in 1 to 2 turns at most. So by turn 4, by the end of my turn 4, I will have secured these woods for sure. Um, and
Yeah,
it's a question of like, do you want to, are you going to want to push through open ground all over the place to try and do that?
and that's where I'm like, it's like, I don't want to give up, but at the same time, I just don't want to sit here for the next 5 turns just shuffling guys around. So I'm like thinking, how much is my time worth right now? It's more that it's like I don't care if I like win or lose. It's more like, is it just even worth my time at this point to try this?
Uh, I will go back to my original statement. I'm fine with a draw if you want to take a draw. I just feel bad about ending a scenario a little early. Then, but again, like, yeah,
Well,
it's
cause
not a
my
fun scenario.
because like the way that I'm thinking it is like because I agree I don't want it to end, but if I said but I can't because usually when we're in this position,
Hmm.
it's usually like, oh, we'll play and see what the next turn is. Oh, we'll see what the next couple turns are. But
Right,
for
but
me,
this is
for me, in order for this to even like come close, I have to wait for the next 3 to 4 turns, and that's the
right.
part where I'm like, is that worth it?
Yeah, yeah. What do we gain out of this?
Yeah, because right now I don't think I'm going to win because my AA gun is. I'm gonna be honest, it's not
Not
near
in a
your
good position.
guys.
Oh yeah. And that was the
So
only
it's
thing I
like,
was worried about to going here. It was like, oh, maybe the AA gun's there.
yeah, I should have put it there to be honest, but it. But I have that thing where in the past I would have something like that and immediately just gets overrun anyways.
Yeah,
So
right.
um, fuck.
What's
It's
the?
honestly a flip of honestly it's a flip of the coin for me. Do
Do
you have a coin on you?
I can get a coin.
Uh, oh wait, I have a coin here too.
There, it'll probably be more fair if you flip a coin, anyways.
All right.
Because you could always flip and be like, you know what? I don't really give a shit about the result, anyways.
Uh, all right. So you want to say heads we continue, tails we concede?
Sure, it doesn't matter to me.
Oh, fuck. I tails. I guess I concede.
All right. Probably the most fair part of this scenario. Oh man. Yeah, like I have to admit, like I don't I've never been too much of a fan of scenarios where like you're completely outgunned and then you have to hope that you're reinforced like you reinforcements come in and then you have to do all the work with them included. There's ways to make it fun, but I don't think a night scenario is the one that does it, you know?
I wouldn't be opposed to it, but my like to the concept, but what I am opposed to is that the fact that they have to come from so far away from the
Mm,
where everybody's going to be at. Um, because like I don't know what the thought process is. It my like as I said, like when my original thought and what's probably correct is that whoever designed it, you're meant like the Russians are meant to get somebody over like on this side of the board and you fight them back. That's fine,
mm.
but at the same time, it's like okay, but then. why do we have the extra fins all coming over here? If I was to do it, um, I would say you would probably, well, because even then that could like lend itself to some weird scrutiny. I would say like at least have it where you choose where you come on the north or south edges of board 16 or 19.
Yeah, like I actually would think it'd be really cool if you could if they did the like fins, either you roll a dice or you flip a coin or whatever to determine whether or not you're north or south,
Mm-hmm.
or up or down, I guess, because technically north is right, but whatever. Um, yeah, I that would be cool too, because like you can work around your dice roll, or if you can choose, you choose before Russian setup, that sort of stuff. Makes it a little bit more dynamic.
I don't know about you, but it's like we're three. As I said before, we're three scenarios into the Winter War, and I don't
Mm.
think we've had a good time uh, in any of
I,
them.
I'll be honest. I like the movie one.
The movie one,
Yeah,
yeah, the movie one,
yeah.
yeah, I kind of like that one too.
Because it had
I'm gonna
like
be
you had
honest.
planes in it, artillery on both sides, if I remember
It was
correctly.
nice. Yeah, no, I agree. That one was nice, but at the same time, there was a load of bullshit that happens in that game. Well, it's not,
For
and
sure.
you can't deny that one.
No, no, no. Especially because like you barely got to use your artillery, and my artillery just like I kept getting access to it.
Oh
Um,
no, I'm not even talking about like for the artillery, but just the fact that I'm just like, oh, okay, Molotov. Oh, okay, I'm gonna keep passing all my morale checks now because no matter what grade I am, I'm 8 morale. Here we go.
for sure, but I wasn't looking at it as like the things that hurt my chances of winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I was just thinking like you had a lot of stuff going on. It wasn't huge boards. You didn't have to spend a whole lot of time moving.
yeah,
And there was a nice back and forth. Like you're still fighting for a hill and you can't see all sides of it. So like there's a way for the Finns to recover without like being penalized for it, and the Russians can kind of do the same if they clear part of the hill. And like I enjoyed that movie one, even if the even
it
if the
was
Finnish
definitely more
morale
nail
stuff was
biting. It was definitely more nail biting,
for sure, for
and I
sure.
think that's like one of the problems right now because it's like, oh, I really like that one, but
Mm-hmm.
but it's the third party one. It's not an official one. So it's like, uh-oh.
Oh my god. Okay. Finnish MMG broke taking its first shot, and all the Russians had to do was run right over the initial line of defense. Once broken, not hard to do with the allowance of fire grouping. Right, because the you can fire group because it's not full night rules. The light woods made routing practically impossible for the Finns, which I don't, maybe because of the way that they exist on the board. The pseudo night rules in effect were absolutely stupid, making a magical zone of safe movement due to no star shell availability, which is true. I can't disagree with that. This was possibly the worst scenario I have ever played. With full night rules, it may not be half bad. As it stands, it's a broken piece of shit. I would certainly love to know how anybody could hold off the Russians here. Jeff
Well,
B. I
I'm
don't
not
know
gonna
who
argue
Jeff.
with it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of like I think all of these after action reports are really like speak to the way that we feel about it too. It's just a weird scenario. The Finns are gonna lose early, and then you have to fight through open ground or whatever to get position. It's just yeah.
It's just I think I'm gonna keep going back to this the more that we play, but I think during the first one or it was either like I was talking to you about it or I was talking to my friend Stalwart about it, where I'm like, it feels like MMP tried really hard to make the Finns Japanese without making them the Japanese.
Right, right. I I think I think this scenario is going to fall in a category of ones that are like automatically fail in terms of like my interest in them, after especially after seeing the setups, which is you have a especially like you're playing physical, right? So like you have to buy Beyond Valor, right? Cool. You buy
Yeah.
Beyond Valor. Then you get Hakapale, and we'll say like Hakapale is the only one you bought or whatever, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And you get the the 87 millimeter, what a weird cartridge, K95 artillery, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So you've got these two little counters. You God knows how many you actually have in the box, but that's it. Like you've got the that counter. And what happens if it's only used once?
Yeah.
Like you'll never see that counter again. And true to me just saying it now, the 87 millimeter, this is the only scenario with it in it. So if you have a scenario that has a unique counter and it's never going to be seen, like, because I could just choose never to fight it, so you never get to use a unique counter.
And on top of that, I can never use it to its fullest ability because this scenario, like, craps on my range and makes it not fire half the time, or not half the time, but for a portion of the time.
Well, 1/6 of the time. Like the I will agree the range is silly. If it had if star shells existed, it'd be a little bit better. But yeah, like I don't disagree with like the 1/6, like the rolling a 6 whatever. I would hate for that to happen to me, but it's such a rare chance that I don't really care about it all that much. But yeah, like what if you just don't what if you just don't approach the artillery gun? Oh,
I mean,
I
like,
guess I can't shoot it. Like,
well, I mean, look at this game, like, because like you were like, oh, I want to play this so I can like use the AA gun because that's a really interesting AA gun.
yep,
This is the only scenario that it's in too,
yep.
and it's like can't use that anymore. And I know what people are gonna say. It's like, well, if you kept playing, you could have used it. And I'm like, not where I put it. It's not gonna get used.
And that's the thing. Like I don't want to discount people looking at this scenario and being like, oh well, you could have just done it differently. Yes, true. At least for the AA gun. But the artillery piece is still a matter of like I have to go to the bottom left, and if I never go there, literally doesn't matter. Like who gives a shit, right? With the night vision rules as they are, like you could technically just sneak a guy, in the back, and then he goes through the hindrance, and then the artillery pieces can't really hit you anyways. So, and it still counts as woods, so any covered arc change like sucks. So imagine having a guy on the left, guy on the right, and then you just run at that stuff, and it's just I don't know. I'm not like I said, I'm not a fan of a scenario where there is a possibility that you will never use a counter that is unique to the entire set, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine if you had a scenario that had the mouse tank, and you just like and it just sat in the corner. Like what the fuck? Like it's like the wonder weapon tank that like everybody jerked each other off to in the fucking 90s. Well, why wouldn't I want to fucking drive that around and shoot a 150 millimeter gun or whatever the fuck it had?
I don't
Like,
know, Bill. Why wouldn't you?
exactly. Anyways, it just, yeah. Very sad to see that Arctic Crossroads has two unique counters, and we're never going to see either the AA gun or the artillery pieces again.
This is where I'm like, this is one of those moments where I'm like, guys, I know that we're trying really hard to be like super accurate and fun, but I think like if I own this physically, I would be fine if we just had a generic AA counter that is supposed to encapsulate two
No.
different AA. No, okay.
No way. Not in my wargamer heart of hearts. Never.
Well,
I
if
have
you're
to have
only going to
unique
use it
counters.
once, is my thing.
I agree with the sentiment, I think it means, to me, that just means that the developers need to try fucking harder and need to create a second scenario with these things to exist.
And maybe there is there any like when you search it up, is it like do you search it by module or do you just search
Oh,
it by
I
like
search all full ASL. Like, there's not, I search it all. There's no, it's just, there's one scenario. Technically, there is I don't know if it's the same gun technically. I think it is. There is an 8.7 centimeter FK 1873, which I think is at least very similar um, in a critical hit scenario, but it is not an official scenario.
yeah.
So, there might be a similar gun that exists elsewhere, but again, like at that point, what are you really arguing for, But yeah,
Yeah.
in all of ASL, that AA gun and those artillery pieces only show up once in those names, anyways.
Yeah, I see.
Anyways, it probably deserves a 5.56 rating that it has. So 9 turns, man, they needed to get away from that. That's kind of crazy. And as soon as I look over, I see Savoia scenario in 1942, Russians, Italians, 10 turns.
I honestly I think I've heard I can't remember if it was Neil that did that scenario or am I like just it looked like that scenario wasn't that bad.
I mean, it's probably more interesting because it has cavalry and stuff on it. But
Oh god, not cavalry again.
well, you know what? I can play with the Italian cavalry in 8 years when we get to that scenario.
Honestly, if like the war keeps dragging out and we keep getting duds like this, we might get there faster than you think.
Well, you're in luck because the Winter War did not last that long, and we are gonna come across like some actual fun ones, at least in my mind, because we will be
Oh
coming
yeah.
across like actual tank, like some with tanks and like the freaky cool tanks that I will then complain that they'll have shot once and they get Molotovs or whatever, but I will have shot them once and will justify the purchase.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't know. You guys can have your little tank hullabaloo. Honestly, I'm more of an infantry guy anyways.
Yeah, yeah. Well, uh, in any case, I think we've griped enough. So I will end the stream for everybody who will be watching after the fact on YouTube and whenever, however many years I decided to upload this. Thank you as always for watching. If you are watching this in the actual current timeline, uh, have a lovely Canadian Thanksgiving, and I hope you all enjoy your long or potentially short weekend. Bye.